Okay, this is a tutorial on how to do the backside of a listing. A client just called me and said they want to list their house, and this is demo number 1 of how to do the pre-listing work before the actual appointment. So we start with the MLS. We punch in the address. So I'm going to punch in the address, which is 691 Cedar, Elm, and this is in Forney. So we're going to search. And everything has come up. They've canceled their house twice. It's expired and it's sold. So what we're going to do is take the most recent MLS number, and that will be the 137. And we're going to look at the most recent information that another agent put in the MLS. So we know previously it was listed at 310, reduced to 300. It was on the market for 73 days, and it did not sell, which is why they're calling us. So we're going to take all this information and look up the subdivision and run a CMA. Pull it up on the map so we know where it should be located. Cedar Elm Trail. The main roads are Walnut Lane and College Avenue. Okay. So I'm going to copy and paste this. We're going to go back here to the criteria, which will clear everything out. Forney is all it's got. So let's go back to, let's just make a new one just in case, because sometimes the MLS acts funny. We're going to go to what's sold and what's pending last 90 days. And if we've got to back it up farther, we can. We've got Forney highlighted here. Punch in the subdivision. And I'm going to put in here for sure that it's a single family. Let's back this up and put an asterisk always. There's 30. Some are new builds, which is 6, and some are individuals. Let's see if there's any. No. Okay. So we'll leave it as it is. The REO, we want to take that one out. So we want to look at apples to apples, which will be the builder and the individuals. In this neighborhood, there are quite a few new builds. So let's just see what this returns before we change anything. Before we get the results, let's go to the map and just verify that these are all within that area we just looked. Yep, Walnut and College. So, and then we'll see if we need to cross over. I don't believe we are going to need to. So let's go back here. So 28. So let's go look at the results. Got the results. We're going to do this. We're going to pull up a quick CMA. And we're just going to look to see what's on the market and what's comparable to the property that we have. I always print out the initial subject property. So as of right now, there are 13 properties listed for sale. One that is an active kickout property, which means that they are under contract, but if another offer comes along, they can accept one. There are only 6 pending, which is nice, 6 pending properties. And there are 8 that have sold in the last 90 days, and they've sold close to list price. The one thing we're going to do now is go back and take out, this is everybody, so I'm going to save this CMA. And I'm going to call this everyone, or everything actually. No, I will. I'll just put all. And then I will put in here Cedar Elm. And I'm going to save that to my desktop. That'll be CMA number 1. So CMA. Actually, do it like that. I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back here to the MLS. And now I just want to see what has sold by an individual, not a builder, because builders leave their houses in the MLS and it skews the days on market. So I'm going to come back here to the results, and I have 22. That's a nice little mix right here. So I'm going to take those. I'm going to do a quick CMA. These are going to be, I'm going to save that. This is going to be a CMA. And this is going to be subdivision and subdivision individual. Okay. And I'm going to save that one. And this is just how I remember them. For me, it's the easiest way because when I'm pulling them up and explaining in an email, that's what I need. And then criteria. We also do need to know the new builds. So since I know that there's new builds, I just want to look. There's 6. So what I was saying is this is going to skew. Let's just look at this. So see how the days on market is just really high? That's because they never take them down. So that's why I don't want to skew what is actually being sold. But what I do want to know is what the average price is for what is sold. And these are at 129. These are all a good mix around there, but for the most part, I just want to know the average. Okay, I wanted to know the average price. I just skipped ahead to save on time. All these are from the builder, and the average days on market is like skewed, and also they're all in the same street, so they're all Megatel homes. Okay, so we're back to the search, and I'm going to go to the home page, and I'm going to punch in the actual address, which we know is in Cedar Elm, and that's in Forney. And the reason why I go home is because it clears out all your search criteria, and with that, the MLS acts funny sometimes. It doesn't work right. So always go home. And what we're going to do now is get the subject property and compare it against the tax, which realist tax. We're going to click on that and bring that up. So it opened in a new window. So let me punch in 691. Purpose of this, again, is so that we can compare these listings to the realist to make sure that, and realist always opens in a new window, by the way. So, okay, let's bring this up. Because we can't always trust the people that input the information. This is our sellers. This is the address. This is the zip code. It is owner occupied. And if this is the one that was the most recent was canceled, so you can go right here and see that 284, so that was pulled from the tax rolls. So I always verify the square footage with the clients. It'll be the same on the tax rolls here, but I always verify their square footage because the builder has building plans, and sometimes the house is actually bigger that people don't account for. For example, maybe this house is 2864, but they didn't include the third car garage or something else in the main square footage area. So anyways, I always just cross check those items. The other thing I would always check on is the year build. That's important, just to make sure that you know that, because that is a question that gets asked a lot, and also make sure that is correct in the MLS, and they've got it here. So the point is just to verify that the person who says they're selling is the people on the tax rolls, and that all the information is pretty much the same. Again, I always print this out, and sometimes I'll look at the comparables, the market trends, or what's going on in the neighborhood. All right, so we're going to pull this one up. I'm also going to look and compare them versus what it was prior. This was back in 2005. They tried to rent it out. So just gathering information about the property. That's all we're doing. Okay, and they've all lined up exactly the same, especially since the house isn't that old. There's probably not a lot of inaccuracies, as most of it's coming from the tax rolls. Okay, so we've got the tax rolls checked, we've checked the MLS, we've done a CMA. Now let's do the last 2 steps, which are dotloop. So I've gone ahead, again, for the sake of time, and I created a loop. So I'm going to add the people to the loop. I'm going to add their name and their email addresses right here. Okay, so I just punched in John's information and his role. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add him. These are going to be selling disclosures. So I'm going to punch in his wife, Dawn. All right, I punched Dawn in as a seller. I'm adding her too. Now they're both in there, John and Dawn. Me as the selling agent, listing agent. Max as an admin as always. Okay, so we've got 2 folders, always a disclosure. So I'm going to add documents from templates, listing disclosures. I'm going to verify that they're all here. Information about brokerage services, vendor, wire, residential, exclusive right to list, seller's disclosure, real property affidavit, all of them. Put them in there. All right, let's fill them out. The other thing is right here in the loop, before you click on any folder, we're going to come in here and we're going to fill out all of this information. This is key. This will autofill your forms. This is the most important part of dotloop, is to get it right in the very beginning. So what we're going to do is come down here, verify everybody's name. We could have added the people right here. That's sometimes easier for people. So I'm going to punch in all the information. Okay, so I filled this out. I got most of the information either from Realist, which I left open, or the MLS. I copied the subdivision. I got the county of Kaufman. I put in all the information, the square footage, which is great because this helps you learn about the property as you're entering all these things in here. The square footage, the bathrooms, it's a single family house. The lot size, I could even punch that in on here. The square footage right here, 2.06. So it's 0.2 of an acre. Everything. Save this. And then up here to the top, back to the loop. And right here, we're going to push use the property address versus a custom name, which I put in the actual name of the, I always put in the name. And then RJ will come behind me and fix it to have the seller's names or selling or however he likes it. All right, we're going to fill out these disclosures. Let's do this. Let's start with the exclusive right to list a home. This now has everybody's role in here. It has all the information in here. Add my license number. Always do this because it'll fill it in on the paperwork. We're going to verify everything here. Listing expiration date will be a year from now, which today's the 20th. 19. Listing date. We're going to put this thing on the market next Thursday. The original list price, we don't know exactly what that is just yet. We haven't agreed on a price. So I'm going to leave that blank and I'm going to autofill all of this. I'm going to come down here and look, and I'm just going to verify that all of this is correct. And I'm going to start signing. All right. 21 fields have been filled in. This isn't a HOA. We don't know the price again, so I'm going to leave that. List date is either going to be next Thursday or the Thursday after. Thursday is the best day to list a house on the MLS. Keep signing until I see something else that needs to be changed. These are all filled out. I've gone through and auto-filled most of these forms. So that every time you load them in there from the template, they're already filled. And with this one, there's nothing out of the ordinary. So just going to keep on going. And this last one I'm going to sign. All right. I'm going to save this one and I'm going to keep on going. And then we're going to send it over to them. The seller's disclosure notice. Now, this is key because they're going to have to fill it out whatever with the information that they have. 1 second, let me do this. And I want to make sure that this is the fillable one. So I'm going to save it. It doesn't look like it is, so we need to put that one in here. But we're going to save it. And they're used to this. They've already had their house listed once, so they know what almost all these disclosures are, so I'm not overly worried about it. But in the normal case, I would call them and explain everything. I'm going to share these. Now, here's a crucial part. They can sign. If we had the fillable seller's disclosure here, I would change it to can sign and fill. But since it's not the fillable one, they're going to print it out and check them off. I'm just going to share it as is for them to sign. So I'm going to share that with them. So now so far we've got a CMA, we've got the disclosures, and we're going to now hook up with the showing instructions. That'll be in the next video.